Hey everyone, so checking in. Decided to go do some shopping, but let's turn this down here. All right, I went to go see a movie today, and the key word is tried. And anyways, so I went there and I checked online. I don't usually carry a mask with me. I'm not one of those people who bought a stylish mask or whatever. I didn't do that. I went throughout the whole year pretty much not using one. I have a medical condition that makes it hard to breathe through those. So usually I don't partake in that. But anyways, I looked on the theater website and I try to be courteous and respectful. And it said they are encouraged in the common areas, but otherwise not so much. So I went there and I bought the tickets online, and turns out they had like a squad patrolling the entrance there. And she said instantly, if you don't have a mask, I'm not selling you a ticket. And I said, do you have masks? I don't have one. And she said, nope, we're all out really quickly. And so I said, okay, so I guess just give me a refund. Now, here's the thing that I've come to find out when it comes to this whole mask thing. I'm not against it per se. You know, you can argue about the effectiveness of them, whatever. But when it comes to this thing, it's really about ideology. People have gone from hating people who don't, they don't like the fact that people don't wear them, right? And instead from going to, I don't like when people don't wear them, they go to, I don't like people who don't wear them. You see the difference? One thing is an action that they don't like. The other is they don't like the people who think freely, essentially. And a lot of people around here, this is a rural area, right? I'm in Oregon. It's a liberal state, but it's a rural area. And I talked to a leftist the other day, and he said when I go to a rural area and I see all these conservatives wearing masks, being good boys and girls, so to speak, that's what he said. He said, it's beautiful. And I said, what do you mean beautiful? And he's like, I said, are you that scared of what's going on? He said, no. It's not about that. What it's about is it shows that people will eventually cave. Give them a year and they'll adjust to anything. And he said, that's why I'm not worried about this jab, right? He said, yeah, right now, I think it's at 53% of people are jabbed. And he said, I'm not worried about that because eventually, give them enough time and they are going to cave. They're going to see slowly their friends and their family doing it. And eventually their places where they get food is going to cave under the pressure of the government, and they don't want to get fined. So they are going to make it mandatory. And he said, it's beautiful. What this means is it's not just for what's going on. It's not for this virus. He said, it means that if you wear people down enough and do it slowly and deliberately and have the media on your side, you can basically do anything. And I was like, isn't that a little ridiculous? And he said, well, the whole thing about morality, the left doesn't really care. They don't really care about the ethics. This is from the same group that doesn't believe, a lot of them don't believe in objective good or bad, good or evil. What they care about is their narrative, and they use good and bad because they know that the people of America, a lot of them are religious, they care about morality, so they use morality to their advantage. And So it's interesting. And he said, look, you have your will and I have my will. And my will is, the whole leftist idea is about progressing, right? They call it progression. Now, we may argue that it's regressive, but they think of it as progressive, and that's the spin that they put on it. But think about it. If somebody is hammering away and constantly going forward and forward, and the right, conservatives, are constantly defending and they're not going on the offensive at all that's going to happen is the one who is being attacked is going to break their lines further and further back. If you don't have an offense going forward and pushing your beliefs and views, then you're just going to regress, and that's what's happening. The left has put the conservatives on the defensive. Now, a lot of people worry about this, and they say that our world is going down. I mean, we've seen, what's going on with the teachers now. They're being exposed. And yes, parents may speak out and all of that stuff, and they may say, oh, this is not going to happen in my town. But eventually, they're going to get people, they're going to get the next generation to slowly integrate these beliefs. And it's going to get more and more liberal. I mean, look at the past 70 years. We went from suits and tuxedos, not that I'm for that, not for the 1940s, 1950s, or whatever, the way that their beliefs were set, but look how far we've come, and that's just because it's all on the assault. They're on the offensive, and we have nothing but to preserve. We want to preserve our beliefs. We want to preserve America. There's nothing for us to push forward. That's what they're doing, and they want to change. When you don't want to change something, you want to keep it, all you can do is try to stop the assault. But if you're just defending it, you're not going to go forward. You're not going to make any, there's not going to be any progress for conservatives, because that's not what it's set up to do. Now, I'm more conservative in my beliefs, especially when it comes to biblical ideas. I am not a Republican or a Democrat. Never been a fan of Trump. I do think that he had some ideas that were good, but I think that he divided the nation, and now everybody's so busy fighting with each other that no one gets anything done. Meanwhile, the globalists are taking all the small business, and they're calling all the shots and all of that. So anyways, I want you to think about that for a minute. Think about how slowly this is happening. A year ago, this didn't happen. This wasn't like this a year ago. And slowly but surely they are going to make great strides in what they want to do. The only thing that you can do is participate in solidarity. When you see somebody who is practicing their beliefs and they're the same as yours, act in solidarity. The left likes to break that up. They say, no, we are going to separate you, and we are not going to do that. And that's the whole thing, is divide and conquer. We all know that. We've all heard that. But just think about it for a minute. And, even Arnold Schwarzenegger said, oh, screw your rights, all of that stuff. Screw your rights. I mean, it's because of our freedoms and stuff like that you were able to become Mr. Universe and become an action star and, marry a Kennedy and all of that stuff. And now you're saying screw your rights? Like, this is ridiculous. Anyways, I just want to leave you with, think about that for a little bit. And, I think it's, I really think that our world is heading in the direction that the Bible says, that there's going to be a one world government. But just like the Bible says, there will be people in that day standing up for themselves and their rights. And that's the people that we want to be. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.